Over the last couple of years, I came out at the beginning of the year and I made some bold predictions of what I think might happen in the world of toys in the upcoming 12 months ahead. I am not going to do that this year because I do not want to see a repeat of what happened last year, which was a ton of disappointment when the Marvel HasLab that I predicted to be a Quinjet ended up being what it was. Instead of predicting things, I am going to wish for things instead. Maybe I can even wish them into existence. But no, probably not. But it can't hurt to try. So here is my 2023 action figure wish list. What is up, everybody? My name is Matt, often called Big Nerdy. Together we are the NWO, the Nerd World Order, and this is Nerdzoic. On this channel, we believe that collecting should be fun and make you happy, and nothing makes me happier than when something I really want to see come to pass actually happens. Now, as I go through this list, you're going to notice that not everything is like a figure or a single figure. Some of them are, though. Other things are more like industry spanning. And while this is a top 10 list, these aren't in any particular order. So here goes nothing. Coming in at number 10 is no more Hasbro pricing or release date shenanigans. Let's start off by talking about pricing. I understand that if we needed to go up from $20 a figure, I understand it. If we needed to go to 23, I get it. You haven't done a price increase in a while. If we need to go to 25, I even understood that. My problem came with things after that. Specifically, there being no standard or transparency in pricing. Why is it that exclusives cost $1 to $3 more? There's no difference in the pricing of them. Why is it that certain characters cost more? Please explain to me why the Future Foundation Spider-Man shouldn't cost $25. And the deluxe figures that aren't deluxe figures? No, stop it. I can accept the new MSRP at $25. But what I'm wishing for here is that these other shenanigans that I just talked about, please make them stop. If you want to regain some trust with the toy collectors, stop that crap. So toy manufacturers, hear my wish. I also mentioned release dates. Hasbro's been doing this thing lately where they just pick a date far in the future that's not actually accurate, just so that they can say, hey, look, it came out early, you can't complain. What ends up happening though is you end up screwing with people's budget. Oh, look at this. All these figures that I pre-ordered came out all at once. Well, that sucks. Yeah, that's a problem. So yeah, toy manufacturers, hear my call. Next thing I'm wishing for is a Star Wars HasLab I actually want. No more lightsabers. No more risky campaigns of characters that are important but not super important to the story. I want something that gives me the feeling of Galactus or the Razor Crest or the Sail Barge or the Sentinel. I want something that makes me run to go order it because I want to be among the first to get it. What this is though, I don't really know. I want them to figure out something that wows me. Maybe it's a vintage collection ship, but what hasn't been done before that they could do and then pass off as a HasLab? The previously released Sandcrawler really underwhelmed, so maybe that's an answer. And thematically, it makes sense with the Sail Barge, but I don't really see them going that route. Maybe you could go like really huge with a 4-foot vintage collection Star Destroyer. Obviously, it wouldn't be the scale, but why not? You could do a playset. I'm a big advocate for getting some kind of a Death Star playset for the Black Series. Modular playset specifically, not like a giant one, but different pieces of the Death Star that we can use to set up scenes. So we could get hallways, we could get a conference room, we could get the little door that Obi-Wan and Vader fight in. So yeah, that's some options, but to sum up my wish here, just don't suck. Next up is a Marvel HasLab, and for this one, I can be more specific because I know exactly what I want. I want either Fin Fang Foom or Giant Man. Giant Man could be done so easily. Take the Toy Biz version that's 18 inches, upscale him up to about 30 inches or so, and boom. Have him come with a normal size figure and a micro version, and I think you got a winner. I mean, assuming that you don't try to charge $500 for it. Fin Fang Foom is the same. I would love him in my collection. Even better if I can get a bigger version and I don't have to pay up for the old one. And I honestly think there'd be some crossover appeal here for people who collect things like Mythic Legions who just want a dragon. And I would say that if we've learned anything about HasLab campaigns, we've learned this. People want big hulking figures. Not the Hulk, don't get that idea. I'm not saying make a Hulk figure, but big, beefy chunks of plastic. My next wish for 2023 is a re-release of a vintage collection ship. You might say, why not use HasLab for this? My response is, that's cheating because you already have the molds. That would be where I consider HasLab to be a joke. You start doing re-releases through HasLab, and that's when I get really pissed off. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about why re-release something. Because there's a lot of things that people want that's going for crazy numbers. You know, it's been 10 years since we got an AT-AT. We just got Slave 1. That's great. And yes, I'll always call it Slave 1. We just got a Falcon. We just got an AT-ST. We got an X-Wings a couple of years ago. So what can we get? Well, like I said, AT-AT, 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. Seems like a perfect time to me. Why not a Republic gunship? I wasn't really collecting heavy when these things came out. Personally, I would love to see them coming out in the vintage collection so that I can have them in my collection. I also need a Y-Wing and a B-Wing, so I wouldn't complain if one of those were the pick. But yeah, give us another ship. If you can put out one re-release every year with just some updated tooling, yeah, I think we'd all be pretty happy. But again, assuming you don't jack up the price. Next up, number 6 if you will, is a Figura Obscura Bigfoot. I love the concept of this line, and it's quite possibly my favorite thing from the Four Horsemen, which says a lot because I love them. Bigfoot would fit right in with so many other toy lines. Why not make him here? I would love to see their take on him. In my head, he looks like Harry from Harry and the Hendersons, but I'm sure that the Four Horsemen have a much better take on what he looks like than I do. So give me some Bigfoot. I'm just going to call it right now. If they make this, I am going to get him. I'm going to pose him with some Jack Link's beef jerky in his hand. How can you not? Next up, number 5 is missing Episode 1 Black Series figures. Specifically, how the hell have we not gotten a Queen Amidala or little kid Anakin?
It's Queen Amidala herself.
I shouldn't need like a magic genie to make this happen. Why hasn't it happened? Natalie Portman's back on speaking terms with Disney, obviously. Are we waiting for the 25th anniversary, which is I guess next year now, to get these figures? Why? These characters are way too important to be waiting on. Black Series is now 10 years in, and we still haven't gotten a Queen Amidala. We still haven't gotten a little Annie Skywalker. And when it comes to Amidala, there's so many options. It's not just one figure. There's the red dress, the black dress. I think there's other dresses. I don't know. I love getting all those different Queen Amidala figures, even though, of course, Episode 1 is Episode 1, but by today's standards, it's a classic. Next up is a Raw is War playset from probably Matty Creations if we're being realistic. Yes, I still love my wrestling stuff. I love the concept of the new gen arena, but I didn't get one because that's not the arena that I love. It's not my era. But what is? Raw is War, folks. This is something I've actually thought about making a custom of myself, but this sounds way easier. In my mind, you can make it so that it has like this metal frame of trustling up around the top, and you can slide an iPad in there and have like a QR code to download entrance videos. How awesome would that be? It would need to have like a metal looking ramp, have some trash cans, and boom, we're instantly back in the Attitude Era. Seriously, this would be an instant buy for me. Next up at number 3 is the original Anakin Skywalker as a Force Ghost. Sebastian Shaw gets no love. Hell, he's even been edited out of Return of the Jedi. Part of the magic of Darth Vader's face turn for me was seeing the man beneath the mask had become just a little old withered man. And since we had Return of the Jedi Hayden Christianized, I feel like I've earned this, folks. If you want to go all out, make it some kind of a Jedi Spirits pack like we got way back in Power of the Force. Oh god, I would love that. But come on, give me old school Anakin. Coming in at number 2 is the NECA Sewer playset. I bought the Turtle Van day 1 that it went up for pre-order, and I am pumped for it. This is the logical next step for NECA. Now, I love the original version. I wish I still had it. I threw it out because I'm an idiot. But I would love a version that's pretty much just like it. Now, I don't know if they're going to be able to make it like exactly like it, because if I understand correctly, Super 7 has the license for making toys based off of toys, whereas NECA has the license for making toys based off of the cartoon, but they can make their own version just as well. I'm fine either way. Much like the Turtle Van, this is a day 1 purchase for me, so let's do it. Coming in at number 1 is get rid of the plastic-free packaging. I don't know what else to say here, folks. I believe it's done a massive amount of harm to collecting, specifically the Black Series, as that line had a large amount of mitten box collectors making it up, like me. I firmly believe this had little to do with saving the world and more to do with saving money, so shadowy Hasbro overlords, take the L and make this right. And while the new packaging does lend itself better to openers, the question still exists, to open or not to open. If you find yourself stuck, check out this video here that talks about the pros and cons of each way to collect. And remember, you gotta get old, but you don't have to grow up. Just be cool and stay nerdy. Later.